Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Back again with another post-match reaction. 3-1 win against Fulham in the FA Cup final, FA Cup Quarterfinal. What a game! Absolutely mad game. So many things to get into. First half, second half, crazy second half. But obviously we got the win. That's the main thing. But yeah, let's see. Let's discuss what happened in that mad game. Pre-game, first thing I thought was weird. No Varane, I think he's injured. Obviously gets a bit of a longer break now anyway because of the international break coming up. But then you get a bit worried, you've got no Varane, no Casemiro. It's just Maguire and McTominay that we're gonna have to rely on. They didn't do that well, if I'm honest. Maguire was getting heckled by our own crowd. He was slowing the game down a lot. Wasn't great overall, I think. But what can you expect? He's not gonna be Varane. But yeah, so those are my initial thoughts anyway before the game. Obviously, then you saw it play out as you kind of expected in the game. But then first half, Fulham were the better team, and to be honest, probably up until the crazy 5 minutes that we'll talk about in a minute, where there were so many red cards, Fulham were the better team. No bias, straight, they were the better team. We didn't look on it. We were a bit maybe tired, lethargic. We just didn't look awake. We just weren't there. And like I said, that might be because we didn't have Varane. Maguire was slowing things down from the back. McTominay didn't really offer much, to be honest. I wouldn't say he had a bad game per se. He didn't do anything. He just didn't really get into the game the same way that you'd expect a Casemiro to control the game from the middle of the park. And Fulham's Paulina, unreal midfielder. I didn't mention him in the preview, but he actually was very, very good. They're one of the top players in the last few months. Absolutely stunning. But even then, Bruno was purring. Bruno, I think, was having a pretty good game. He was creating, but there just wasn't anything happening from his creation. And there were parts of the game, I think a couple of times when Sancho got in good positions, and I was very disappointed. I'm a big fan of Sancho, as some of you may know, but I was very disappointed with his output. He was kind of slowing the game down as well, kind of like Maguire, but in a different aspect. He was through on goal, or at least he was on the break essentially, and he would just slow it down. And that's kind of his game, and that's why I think a lot of United fans are wanting a bit more from Sancho. But otherwise, like I said, that first half he was off. And overall, the whole team wasn't really that great in the first half. But as always, we still create chances. And, a lot of my friends, well, one of my friends specifically says that we always create chances even when we're playing bad. And he's got a point, because previously, especially, look at last season, you look at seasons before, we didn't create chances. We didn't create anything. It was just a struggle. We didn't compete. And I've said it so many times. The thing I'm happiest about the most about Ten Hag's team and Ten Hag's changes to this team is just that we are competitive. We can compete. And that means that even when we're not playing well, we're creating chances. We can still win a game. And today we didn't play our best. That's 100% facts. But then and then going into the second half, right? We had De Gea having to save us. And spoiler alert, I think I'm going to have to give my man of the match to David De Gea, because, like I said, the rest of the team didn't really play that well anyway. A lot of people might want to give it to Bruno because obviously he scored a penalty and the third goal as well. Got 2 goals. But if it wasn't for De Gea, we wouldn't have been in this game. He made two really good saves before the Mitrovic got his goal, and then from a corner, I think it was, and then he made another big save before later on, he made another big save just before the crazy madness that happened. So he kept us in the game. He really kept us in the game. And I don't want to be a De Gea apologist or anything, because there's a lot of slander on De Gea's name at the moment because of his stats and distribution and all this kind of jazz and save percentage. But De Gea has saved us today, And I'm not De Gea's biggest fan. I'm not here, it feels like that almost, because I feel like in the last 3 videos I've been talking about De Gea, but it was because of him that we were in this game. So I'll give him my man of the match. But yeah, so that crazy 5 minutes. What was that? So first of all, we were on the break. We were going to score. People were going to say, oh, we got lucky. But really, Sancho should have scored anyway. Regardless of whatever happened there, Sancho should have scored. So what happened? Sancho is on the break. He cuts it back, drops the defender, and then he shoots on goal. Willian handballs it. And I'm sorry to say it was a clear handball. And I'm not sorry to say. The reason I'm saying that is because certain Arsenal fans are coming in my WhatsApps and whatever and saying that it wasn't a clear handball. it was almost as clear as Suarez's like this again against Ghana. It was a clear handball. So all you Arsenal fans talking, or specifically you Arsenal fan, you know who you are. Bruv, go focus on your own team, please. I beg. But anyway, definite handball from Willian. Goes to VAR now. First of all, the first person to get sent off is Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, because he tries to go and influence the referee at the VAR screen. Then, so he gets sent off. Then Willian obviously rightfully gets sent off because he went like the ball's coming here, ball's coming down here, his hand was up here, he goes like this and saves it basically. So set red card, but then Mitrovic loses his head and he gets sent off. So then at that point, we got a penalty. We're playing against 9 men. We caught life. Let's be honest. Like like I said, we weren't at our best. But it was Sanchez should have scored anyway. It should have been 1-1. It should have been a goal anyway. So anyway, obviously those three red cards helped us out. Well, more so the 2. It doesn't matter if the manager gets sent off, but Mitrovic and Willian going off helped us out. Penalty helped us out, but it was deserved. There was it wasn't controversial in the slightest. And then Bruno tucks it away, gets the penalty goal. Then we get the Sabitzer goal, which is absolutely lovely. Good play. There's only so much analysis you can do, right? When your team is facing 9 men. We had so much space at that point. It was, with a team of our quality, we should always be winning that game. We probably should have scored more to be honest, than the 2 goals we scored after that. But yeah, good, a lovely touch from Sabitzer. Lovely to see him get his goal. And to be honest, in terms of let's look at some of the actual players, right? Defensively, I think we're all right overall, right? As a team, we did all right. The pressing wasn't that good, but overall we did okay. We reduced Fulham to a few good chances. The head did save us a lot in the second half, but in the first half, I don't think they had a crazy amount of chances. Probably think we created more chances than them in the first half. The midfield without Casemiro was just leaky. We were just Fulham controlled the midfield. Like I said, Paulinho already, he showed that he was a solid midfielder. And you know what? Like, maybe we should be looking at him as a backup or someone like him anyway. But Sabitzer first half, not so good. It wasn't his best game. He wasn't really, like I said, a lot of these guys weren't really getting in the game. They weren't taking control of the game, as in our guys, in that first half. But second half, improved. Actually, I forgot to mention, Ten Hag straight away, in like 55, 60 minutes, took off McTominay for Anthony, changed the formation a little bit. This was actually just before we got our big chance, actually. And I think then from then on, as soon as McTominay comes off, Anthony comes on. Anthony goes right, Plancha goes left, Rashford goes up top, Weghorst goes number 10, Bruno sits deep. Him and it's just Bruno sitting deep. And then later on, Fred comes on for Rashford, just to rest Rashford basically. And then Fred gets the assist for the Bruno third goal. Not saying that Fred was much of an assist, just a pass, a sideways pass. But these kind of little changes make a difference to the team, and it's nice to see, of course. But that was the craziness of that game. Absolutely crazy game. Obviously happy that we got the win. Overall, though, you have to really say that I'm glad we've got this international break coming up. Obviously now into the next round. Amazing, hallelujah. My fear would be, if let's say we were to play this game next week, we'd still be tired, we'd still be a bit lethargic, and we've got, I don't want to say this game, sorry, the semi-final, and we've got Brighton in semi-final, which is going to be very hard comparatively. Brighton are a very, very good team, and there's one of their players that I actually want to talk about in an upcoming video, because we need a striker, and this guy is looking very nice. Spoiler, Evan Ferguson. But anyway, side note, we need this international break. It's come at the right time, I think, for us. It'll be nice to see some of our players actually rest. I know Bruno will go off and play for Portugal or something. He can play another 90 minutes, depending on how many games they get. But it'll be nice to see some of our players get a rest, get through to the 2 weeks after the international break, come back, focus on our Premier League. But main thing is, we're going back to Wembley. And if we can beat Brighton, we're probably going to have City in the final. That'll be a huge game. There's never been a Manchester derby as a final, so it'll be huge, absolutely amazing. I'm going to try everything to be there again, just like I was at the EFL Cup final. Amazing game. I'm glad we got the W. Let's focus. Let's take a nice break now for the international break. Come back refreshed and consolidate our position in that Premier League. Man of the match, like I said, has to go to De Gea because he kept us in this game. Your alternative man of the match, I guess, is Bruno, your basic pick, if you like, because he's got 2 goals. But otherwise, thanks again for watching the video. As always, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, because I will be hopefully putting up a couple of videos over this international break to keep you interested, get a couple of people on the channel just to talk about Manchester United, basically, as always, and get maybe some news stories in terms of transfers, how we've done over the season so far. Look out for it. See you on the next one.